Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
You got to stop holding on. It's time to get rid of this stuff. I'm Kelly Wildness here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks, things you should not be keeping. You've all got that stuff. You got it squirreled away. So listen in. We're in this together, and we're going to get rid of it together.
Yeah, and if you haven't moved in a while, you may have some stuff you don't even know you have.
Yeah, you might need to move because that I was thinking that too. Like that is the greatest motivator.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, except when I moved to California because, initially I really did not want to come here. Uh-huh. I brought everything. Oh. Well, clearly, like if I could have brought my mom and, everything else I would have brought too.
A little passive aggressive perhaps, but whatever.
I don't know if it was just holding on, keep it on, holding on. I brought rolls of wrapping paper. Like, really? They're hard to pack.
It was nice.
How were they going to end up in good shape once they got here? They weren't.
But, when you're packing, you pick up something. I remember thinking, is this worth spending my time wrapping up and then paying someone to move it to the new house and then unwrapping it?
Yeah. Well, that's the rational person's thought. But I guess when the person didn't really want to go, the person was keeping.
Then it's like, no, I can't get rid of anything. Yes, right. I know.
Because I'll be going back and I'm just going to take my wrapping paper back 3,000 miles to the other side of the country.
Well, I just Marie Kondoed my house earlier this year, got rid of so much stuff. There were one or two things that were an oops that I got rid of, but 97% of it, I was thrilled I got rid of. But yeah, there were a few things that was like, I ended up needing them. But there was always that risk. Yeah. I know. There were a few things. Yeah.
That's how it happens. So anyway, this is an episode of action. So taking action. Right. So if you're home and you're listening to this, listen to us out loud on your speaker on your phone. Listen to us through your Alexa. You can do that. Just say, Alexa, play Decorating Tips and Tricks, and she will. And you could listen to us even on your laptop. Play it out loud. While you're listening, be scooting around your house because we know you got all these things stashed, or at least a lot of these things stashed in various places in your house. And let's give it a hard look together and get rid of it because you don't need it all.
I am so ready. Let's dump this stuff.
Okay. All right. Lots of good reasons to do this. Storage is an issue for everyone. Stuffing things under your bed is not good for you. I think that's really bad. Feng shui, karma, what have you. And here's the thing that just is like a dagger to my heart and painful to someone's wallet. People have outside, exterior, off-site storage units.
Oh, I know.
Stuff they don't even know they have, and they don't want it.
Oh, I think that's terrible. That's so expensive. And if you just go through and get rid of the stuff that you're not using, you probably don't need it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really painful for me. When we were moving, I had some in storage and, oh man, that bill was awful paying that every month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, definitely do it. I mean, if you have to do it for a short period of time because, you're having a kitchen remodel and stuff's got to go in there or something like that, then fine. But it just to house stuff that you just probably can fit in your own house just because you have extra, I don't know, Tupperware and things like that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to run through a big long list. We were going to say 50 things. It could be 50. It could be 75. We're not sure. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes flying at you. So Get ready. Get ready to get moving. Get ready. Maybe get a big bag or a box, and you can
listen with a big trash bag. With a big trash bag. We're going to have you running around the house,
running around. So you can make a pile for getting rid of trashing. You could have a Goodwill pile. You could have give to your friend pile, what have you. But
and Kelly, I actually have a large stack of stuff on my back porch right now because remember my garage apartment kind of in transition there.
Yes.
A big pile of stuff that I'm giving away. I've got a rug going to one person.
Oh, so if you're in the Houston area, feel free to do a drive-by.
Mm-hmm.
See if you want anything.
That's right. I have a lot of things going to different people, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun because some of it's nice, and the stuff I know no one wants, it's going into the trash.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start in the kitchen, which or else,
good.
we're going to bop around.
Goody.
But how about kitchen appliances you never or very rarely use? For the one time of year that you might make a Belgian waffle or maybe a crepe, or even if you're not a real blender person, move it on out. You don't need it. It takes up a lot of space. How about like a rice cooker? If you're not doing it, get rid of it.
Yeah, we had a yogurt maker, which I used for a while. But then we stopped making yogurt, and then it was taking up space.
Dude, it's like making candles. Like, no one needs to make their own yogurt. I really don't think you do. I get it.
It was back in the day where you couldn't get organic yogurt. And stuff, so I was using organic yogurt. Anyway, all right, whatever. But okay, fondue sets I found. You know what I got rid of recently? It was from when the kids were little, and we had all these parties for them. The chocolate fountain. Did you have a chocolate fountain at your house? It got to where
but I think I came perilously close a few times.
Well, and then all I could picture was it being slung, like bits of chocolate slung all over my house. So I was terrified of using it at my house with the kids. So we would pay the little club house in the neighborhood. We would pay them to have the parties there because I just thought I am not going to be scraping this off my curtains next week.
Oh yeah.
But I never used it again after a couple of parties because I thought I don't want this in my house. It's just like the messiest possible thing. Bubbling molten chocolate. It sounds delicious, but you don't want to be cleaning it out of your cushions.
That's a bad combination with small children. Yeah, so we'll jump around a little bit as we get ideas. The same sort of concept, themed party decor items, maybe the squanched New Year's hat, and maybe those blowers that you're not sure who or how many people blew out of it before. Like, I don't want to be bringing in the new year with somebody's old germs. I just found a bag of that stuff in my garage. And I think I'm like, running such a tight ship here. I'm like, what is this? It's like clearly like a squanched, glittery top hat filled with these probably dried up, spitty horn blowers. Gross. Get rid of that. Get rid of the squanched leis that you had the Hawaiian party for when your kid was 9 or whatever. All that stuff. Like, it's not going to look good when you take it back out of a bag or a box. So, and are you going to have another luau? Are you going to set up the chocolate fountain? Probably not. Well, you know what I found this before we moved here was a warming tray that somebody gave us at our wedding many moons ago. What do they call those two? The sterno, right? Is that it? Is that no? It has to have the thing underneath it. It was like stuff that you could put food. It was like the size of a tray, a serving tray. But I guess you could put your plates on it and turn it on, and it just would keep them warm for a party. I never used that. But here's the thing. It was in my closet. I in the cabinets. I had room for it at the time. And so I just kept it. And so my theory was then, if it was a wedding gift, it was something that was usable and I had room, I would keep it. But over the years, I've gotten much more judicious about what I keep. So now it's not just, does it still work? You're ruthless, judicious. I
am really ruthless.
You are ruthless.
It's not just, is it still functional? But am I really going to use this? Because if I'm not, that warming tray, I didn't throw it away. It's not in a landfill, or it might be now, but I gave it to somebody.
Right.
They wanted it.
Who needs to warm their own things? And you don't need to do that. It's too hot in Houston to be warming things anyway.
Well,
and I mean, I don't even have those, but maybe other people do. But those, the thing I mentioned, that sterno, that was something else that didn't it go under?
Yes,
certain things, and you lit it up, and it was like a flame,
like a chafing dish.
A chafing dish. I had one of those too.
Yeah, I think I still do for my mother-in-law. Yeah, so I see. I'm not as I do get rid of a ton, but there's a few things I'm like, well.
Okay, how about retired sheets and pillows? I'm notorious I could use this. Oh, maybe I'll just use it as a drop cloth when I'm spray painting. Just, you're going to buy a drop cloth or you use plastic, or what's great to do spray painting and stuff like that on all the boxes that you may be getting if you're ordering stuff online. Just flatten them all out, lay them on the ground, and that's good because you can't even use a sheet really for painting because it goes through.
Well, that's true. And I did throw out some old sheets. And in fact, I just kind of kept my nicest sheets. And then if they weren't fairly new, I got rid of them. I just threw them out.
And we've mentioned this before, but your local animal shelter, humane society, things like that will take the sheets. Mine doesn't take pillows. I don't know. There's something with pillows. Like maybe there could be, certainly not in my pillows, but there could be mites or something like that. I guess they think I was a little insulted when they told me they wouldn't take my pillows. I was like, but they're my pillows. Like,
honey, it was just you.
I just washed them for you. But they'll take sheets and blankets and all of that. So that's a great place to donate that
that's
because
a good point.
They need it for the doggies in those, cement cages. Also, if they have puppies or kittens, that's good to have them.
I had so many old towels.
They take that too.
I took them to the animal shelter around the corner and they loved them. And it was a massive stack of towels. But
how many towels do you need to wash your car? And maybe you don't even wash your own car.
Well, you just need one or two old towels to maybe wash the dog's feet when they come in and they're in the mud or something. But other than that, that's the thing. You don't need every old towel. You just don't. Yeah. It's kind of like the bags from Target and the grocery store. I found a ball of them under the sink. I'm like, what is this? Mm-hmm. Why are these even here? So I kept a few because I was told they were used, but I didn't keep the big pile of them.
Old cell phones, iPads, things like that, and the wires that go with them. Now, we have had success. I don't know if they still do it. I don't know if every one of them does it, but Best Buy bought a lot of our old electronics because of Peter's business and whatnot. We get upgrades a lot because he just needs to have the most recent technology so he can do what he does. So we go through these rather quickly. But even one time there was an iPad with a completely shattered screen and they bought it from us. I don't know if they refurbish them or they sell them like on a secondary market somewhere, but that is worthwhile checking with your local Best Buy. Apple is very particular about what they take back. So you might not have as much success there, but it's nice to get, I think our situation was we kind of almost traded it in because we bought something else there. So then you even get a better deal.
Yeah, it's not too much, but you're right. I mean, the newer the phone, the better you're going to get for them, but it's not going to be great.
No, but it's better than and plus it's really hard to recycle those things.
That's true. Here was another thing, because I love cookbooks. So if I had a cookbook, if someone gave me one, and then I had all my mother-in-law's cookbooks, but guess what? When we moved in, I put them on the cookbook shelves. And then how many times did I get those cookbooks out in the 6 years we have lived in this house? Right. I don't even want to answer that. So a lot of those went to new homes. Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing that I do. If I try a new recipe, and I used to try a new recipe at least one a week, the ones that I liked would go in my own personal cookbook. And I keep it updated. If I try new recipes, they go in my own cookbook. And so if I've made it before and I liked it, it's in there. So once it's in there, I don't necessarily need all these other cookbooks. And when I'm searching for a recipe, a lot of times I am looking online. So I have kept my favorite cookbooks, but there are a lot of those old cookbooks that I just am not going to use. Someone else would probably love them, but I'm not using them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'll say to the crew here, if I make a new recipe, is this a keeper? And if it's a keeper, then somehow I'm going to get that recipe out of the book or copy it online or something. I got rid of a lot of cookbooks when I moved. See, moving from San Marino to this house, I was ruthless because I knew I wanted to stay in California, and
many closets
I didn't think
in that
I
house
needed
either, right?
I'm sorry.
There's not many closets in your house because it's Victorian.
No. So, we wanted to really pare down as much as possible. So I got rid of a lot of my cookbooks. I just dropped them off at my local thrifty. Definitely explore online for recipes. You're going to have a lot more options. If you're looking for, sort of a general category, that's a great way to be exposed to new recipes rather than just, having the books. They take up a lot of room.
Okay, so here's another thing that I know I'm a little more ruthless about than most people, but the Mentos of a childhood, your own childhood or your child's baby stuff. So what I did, because my mother-in-law, there were closets that were shrines to my husband. Everything he
and
pretty
did
much,
you even have a little shoebox there, Nita Jean? And he had a shrine, like a whole room.
There were, yeah. I mean, there was like if he had touched it, pretty much it had not been thrown away until we inherited it all. And then it was like, I'm sorry, but we're not going to keep your wardrobe from when you were 12. So yeah. My mom, I have like one Barbie from my childhood. My mom threw everything out. I'm somewhere in between. But so I decided when my kids were little, I'm going to keep one storage bin of kind of their papers and maybe their baby clothes and stuff. One bin per kid. And I kind of decided if it'll, so that forced me to curate those things. So I have some things that do remind me of them when they were babies, but that kind of forced me to kind of curate it. And so that I didn't have closets and closets of all of their clothes. And plus I wanted somebody else to use those. So I just kept just a few mementos.
Right. I think that's very wise. How about bad pillow inserts?
Oh, no.
I used to keep them. I did until, we have talked so much about down and down alternative and how that makes such a big difference.
Are you talking about sleeping pillows or all pillow inserts?
I'm talking about, we could talk about all of them. I was kind of talking about decorative, but yeah, there's also the sleeping pillow where you're like, oh, maybe if I'm, we go on a long car trip and then, somebody wants to sleep in the back. Like, most of the people I live with now are kind of old enough that they're not sleeping in the back of the car when we're driving somewhere.
Or they can take their own pillow, right?
They can take their own good pillow. Why would you want to take like the loser
Or they can
pillow?
get those. Well, everybody's got the neck pillows too.
Oh yeah, I don't do stuff. See, that kind of stuff. Like, I am not a gadgety person,
No,
and
I know.
I almost put that in like the gadget department. Like, I don't have extra stuff like that. I'm like, just hold your head up, or you just bobbing around on the plane.
I see them on the plane. Yeah, I'm not taking it on the plane.
Yeah, no, my daughter has one, and it's leopard skin. She just loves it. And I'm, when I see people with them, and I'm like, gosh, that looks nice, but I'm like, no, it's just not. Yeah. I'm just like way too streamlined for that. Dragging that thing along with my suitcase. What about old bras and undies? Okay, it's getting personal, but. Go get your bag. Nobody's going to want these, girls.
No, just throw those away.
Just throw those away. They don't even take them even at the Goodwill, I don't think.
Okay.
So.
Now, this one's a little painful because I loved these so much and kept them for so long, but old magazines.
Oh, that's all right.
I have a few. I have a stack of the ones I've been in. I have some that are some of my favorites.
Oh, well, that must be quite a large stack.
It's shut up.
But I think you need 2 copies of everyone that you've been in case, and you should keep them in separate homes in case one home goes up in flames. And you still have, maybe you should have
safety
3
box?
copies of each one and then a set in the safe deposit box.
All right, smarty pants. But, we don't need all these. And I've had people ask me if I want their old magazines and I'm thinking, no. I've got my own old magazines I've got to dispose
certainly I
of.
hope they're not handling you an old magazine that you're in and they're trying to give it away to you because that would not be great.
That would be very insulting.
That would be really rude.
No, that hasn't happened. Right. So, but those old magazines, go through them if you want. But then I found that but here's the thing. There's these old magazines. I thought, I just love this. I just love this one. Oh, I need to keep this. And then I look at it now and go, well, I don't really see what in here was. What did I like?
What did
I
want? That happens to me even after I'll just do a magazine, and then I always dog ear it. I have a system. Like I'll go through it, I dog ear it, then I go back through it one more time, and then I think to myself, why did I even dog ear that page? Like it was just like 4 days ago. But the man that we bought our house from, Darling Dean, who was the epic hoarder, I should have known when we made the deal for him to sell us this house, and he would only talk to me and he wouldn't talk to either of the real estate agents.
Really?
Just looking at me. And he said to me, I'm going to get right on this, because packing up and all of that, I'm going to get right on this. I'm going to take all my magazines that I've dog-eared and I'm going to pack them up and I'm going to take them to my storage unit. So that was going to be the first thing he did. I mean, and that you think to yourself, I don't want to be 86 carrying my dog-eared National Geographics or whatever around with me. Right. So at that point I was like, maybe that thing that you have, that pile of magazines, maybe Kelly, you ought to let that go. So I don't keep a pile anymore. Well, only the ones Anita's in.
Well, yeah. Or that you're in.
Yeah.
Or both of us.
Okay.
But some of these things, yeah, I mean, they just start dragging you down. I think possessions, material things, they should be serving you, and you shouldn't feel like you're serving them. I mean, when these things start to be a drag on you, you're just stressed about them. It just feels like your closets are overstuffed. It's time to set them free.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this, it's not worth keeping them, and it does cause stress. So how about this? The mugs. Do they just multiply or what?
We know your mug story. You tried that, and now they're gone, right? You were able to actually.
Oh,
get them out of the house?
No, because I put them in a box by the front door, and I didn't take them all the way out.
Yeah. I have to
because I was setting them.
This is what we're telling you today. Take it all the way out.
Well,
Put it in the trunk.
You can't leave if your family is going to be upset about you taking this stuff out of the house. You do it on a day they're not home. Because if you do it while they're home, they're going to find the stuff and pull it back in the house, and then you're stuck with it. So all those chip mugs and some of that stuff. This was my favorite
some of
mug.
but also if it's some of their like baby stuff, and you're like chucking it, that also
and
hurt feelings.
The artwork. This was my artwork from 4th grade. Oh, well, Evie had gone to all these parties. I don't know what they're called now, but where they have a glass of wine with friends, and then they paint something. They all paint the same thing. Do they have those there in California?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she does those. We have a stack of those. Does she want them hung in her room? Oh, no. Yeah. And they're not even in her room. They're in my closet. I'm thinking, how do I get rid of these? Because she clearly doesn't want them.
Under cover of darkness. Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. How about extra pots and pans? Nobody needs a lot of that.
No, and that's another one of those things. They're probably still functional, But how many do you really need?
Right. Everybody's got their faves. It's the same thing with like your bras. Like you have your couple of faves.
But if they're pots and they're aluminum, you probably want to pass them out the door.
Yeah. Pass them on. Take them to
Goodwill. Because those aren't good for you. So get rid of those.
Oh, yeah. The aluminum ones don't get rid of it. Maybe don't even pass those on to Goodwill because they're not good for somebody else.
They're not good. Yeah.
And here's when Anita will want to scream from the mountaintops, get rid of your plastic containers.
Oh, those things. Oh, and yes.
Lots of times they don't even have the right lids, but you have a drawer full of them. I had that until Anita turned me around that one Christmas. My Duralex glass containers.
Your Duralex glass. I know. I love those. I use mine every day. And I have a drawer in the laundry room of the orphan socks because sometimes they get separated. One goes in one load and another one goes in the other load.
Yeah. Sometimes they need a little time apart.
I don't throw them away right away. But if it's been a couple of months and the partner has not shown up.
The divorce is final after a couple of months for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do sometimes find them stuck to a sheet later on, but then sometimes it's too late.
Sometimes it's too late.
Sometimes the time has passed.
Yeah. I do have a basket of those, and I don't know. I still don't
and nobody wants
that phenomenon.
Just one sock. Nobody.
No, most people don't want just one sock. I tried to make it when the kids were little. Every year in school, probably from kindergarten through I think it was like 9th grade, they had Crazy Sock Day. And that was supposed you were supposed to wear mismatched socks. So I tried to institute Crazy Sock Day like a couple of days a week. Nobody would go for it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. Well, what about this? We've talked about not keeping all the baby clothes. What about that favorite dress of yours or something that you wore to this event or that event, or some dressy clothing that's really pretty but you don't wear anymore? But you paid a lot of money for it, or it was really special to you, but it doesn't fit, or it's no longer in style.
Right. And you'll never wear it again. To go.
And here's the thing about the clothing, because sometimes people consign their clothing. If it's fairly new, you can usually do that. But if you wait too long, it's going to be out of style and you can't even sell it.
I got invited to something I'm really excited about. I've never been to one of these things before. My friend Cindy is hosting a clothing swap.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't really know how it works, although I got so excited about it. I have a bag already. And so I'll let you guys know. It's in a couple of days and I'll let you know what happens. I'm not sure what the rules are, like, how much you bring and how much you can take or how it works or how you like, if it fits or what have you. But you're supposed to bring the stuff on hangers. And then I don't know, you drink wine and maybe just like swap stuff. I guess.
Well, you have to be the same size though.
Well, yeah, but I guess she invited enough people. Chances are you're going to have people of the same size. So anyway, I'll let you know. How about this one? I'm guilty of this, if guilty is the right word. Keeping candles that have a scent that you don't like.
Oh, well, or you're just not going to use them again because they're, I don't know. Toxic. I've gotten rid of so many. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, I have this
one. How many candles do you need? That's the other thing. How many candles do you need?
Well, yeah, you probably don't need that many. If you just go through them and then you have to get another one. But you get the candle like you're at the whatever, and you're like, oh, you turn it over, and you're like $6.99, and it's a candle, and it's in it's in a fake crock. I love this. I'm going to get this, and then you take it home, and you're like, ew, this smells bad, or it's really. Sometimes they're really smoky when you light them up and not so good for you. Mm-hmm. But do you just pitch it? And you're like, I spent $6.99 plus tax for this. I'm going to keep this. And one day,
like, I'll use that later. Oh, I'll use that on the back porch.
Yeah, exactly. I'll use that on a day I'm feeling like smelling fake cranberries. But that day's never going to come.
That day on my nose, hey, I've got a cold. My nose is stopped up. I'm going to get that candle out.
Exactly. Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, extra glass vases, and I'm going to add in empty jars that you've cleaned because you thought that you were going to do something special.
Oh, I used to do that. It was so bad.
I went through an empty jar phase that was very long lived.
Yeah. What are you going to use those for? I mean, unless you're canning, you're not going to use them. Okay, so this was the thing, old spices. Oh. And at the farm, I tried to keep a decent set of food and spices out there, canned things and so forth and so on. But the thing was, because we weren't out there that often, the stuff would go bad before it got used. So I finally stopped doing that. But I was making some homemade tartar sauce because we were making some crab cakes, and I got out the dill, and it was, I just don't even want to say it. It was pretty gross.
Wow.
Oh, it was awful. And it was just so bad. That of course made me, then I went through everything, because sometimes they don't have expiration dates on those. So what I've started doing is, if there's no expiration date, I started putting the date I bought it on there.
Oh,
because at some point you really don't want to use those spices.
Yeah, I think there's something online. I remember printing something out years ago and putting it in my own little cookbook, which was just the general guideline for spice expiration.
Mm-hmm.
How long does saffron last? It's hard to tell when saffron's bad. Obviously it's not too hard to tell when dill's bad now. How about cassette tapes? God forbid the VHS. And, even if you have that machine, are you really going to be watching what my daughter calls the fat movies anymore?
Well, and this was an issue at our house, because I said, get rid of these cassettes, but they have music I paid for on them. I said, I will buy you whatever music you want on iTunes and download it to your phone. We do not even have a cassette player anymore.
Yeah. I think I probably would have been good, like surviving on the prairie, or like kind of living, not that I would want to, but like in the Depression, because I have a hard time letting go of things. Like, I'm like, I could use that. This drives me crazy at Whole Foods. I like shopping in Whole Foods, but I'm surprised that they want to put rubber bands around everything. And so the amount of rubber bands that I get from Whole Foods, I put them around the blueberries. They put them around, if you buy some hot foods in one of those little containers, they put them around a bunch of different things that really don't need to have an extra rubber band.
I've heard they make great bracelets.
Maybe I'll start selling those. There was I forget what that bracelet craze was. My girls were smack in the middle of that. We had to get all those plastic bracelets. But I'm actually
the Live Strong, those things.
No, with some other thing they weren't even inspiring. Every week I'm like, I should have just brought my little baggie of rubber bands and give them back to them. But then sometimes people don't want to even reuse your rubber bands, like whatever, like you got the cooties on them.
They probably felt like yours weren't hygienic or something.
People might. No, I didn't try that yet. It's not like I was rejected with my pillows.
Don't try it.
I don't want to be disappointed.
I fear for your rejection.
It's not going to work out well for me, is it?
Do not try that.
These things, like the rubber bands, like I don't even want it. Don't put it on my blueberries. I'll live with the risk of the blueberry thing popping open in my shopping bag. But the paper napkins, the chopsticks, and the soy sauce, like if you order, like we usually maybe once every 10 days, once every 2 weeks, order in. Then it comes with all this stuff and it stresses me out. And so I'm like, I refold the napkins, and I have them like, maybe for school lunches. And how many chopsticks can one person have? And then bags of soy sauce. So I have little baggies of them in the fridge.
Oh, well, and if I can stop them, I tell them don't even put them in.
Oh, I tried that once, and it's still the big joke. I was trying to explain, don't send me soy sauce. And we ended up
and then you got extra probably. She wants extra.
Yeah. Or like the plastic forks, like you're bringing it to my house. Why do I need a plastic fork? But anyway, all that stuff,
because food tastes better with those plastic forks, apparently.
Yes. But if you can reuse those things, like I do reuse the plastic forks for my daughter's lunch, and I put them in the dishwasher. I wash them. And so, we are not experiencing single-use plastic. But if you can avoid that stuff, but you don't want to feel burdened with, now I have all this soy sauce and I have to store it.
No, and how about the extra water bottles? Because that's the giveaway everywhere. You go somewhere, here's our water bottle. And most of them are not BPA free. And you know how I feel about that.
Well,
I went through a purge with anything that was not BPA free. There was some weeping and gnashing of teeth here, but I was like, I am sorry, but that did not pass the BPA free test. So we are not keeping that. But
no, that's not good for you. How about old t-shirts? You're like, oh yeah, this will be great for gardening. But how many do you need for gardening or doing whatever? So check that bin or drawer and get rid of some of that stuff. This one, I just did those. Manuals and accessories for appliances or electronics that you no longer own.
Oh, good one.
Right. So maybe you've got the owner's manual and maybe the installation manual for your refrigerator that you don't own anymore. Pitch it, make it into scrap paper, shred it.
How about old swimsuits? I mean, who wants to try those on?
I'll just throw out the whole bin. Yeah.
Well, and what would be really bad is you get them out and then you then the elastic's gone. And I'm thinking,
oh, what is that? What is that
No, I don't know.
phenomenon of the elastic just disintegrating?
Well, I don't know.
It must be like the chlorine that, and after time,
Is that what it is?
or
But,
it's just your bathing suit giving you a break because it's like, oh, it's not that it doesn't look good on me. It just the elastic is bad.
I just scared it so much it just fell
It fell
apart.
off. Speaking then of, how about that bag of seashells you were going to make a craft out of, or the bag of acorns, or maybe that giant bin of pine cones. Now, pine cones I do love, but how many does one gal need?
Well, I told you I found a massive amount of craft supplies here in
Which
my
just
house.
shocks me. I don't know how
Well,
that got
the
into your
irony
house.
is I'm not crafty. Why do I even have these things?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember buying them.
Craft supplies, I think, I know for myself, you will momentarily lose your sanity in one of those craft stores. And even me, who has been in the past very crafty and was very crafty with my girls, and I do like a craft once in a while. I had so many craft materials. I couldn't even remember what I was going to craft with any of this stuff.
The stamps, they were so cute.
Yeah. And just like, oh, I get that.
I'm going to,
pass that along to a true crafter.
Yeah, because I do have some of those stamps. I think I may have kept a few of those. Those need to go because I'm not going to use them. I'm just not.
No. Maybe Evie can take them to school because
that's
teachers
a great
sometimes
idea.
are crafting.
She could give them to some of the teachers.
Yeah,
I
just put them in
love that
the,
idea.
while they're all oogling over her lunch bag, she could just put a box of them and distract them, and they could look at the stamps. Okay,
how about say just leave this on the table and just walk away?
Just walk away, hands up. How about this? I'm going to lump these together. Table linens you would never use again. Extra oven mitts that are past their prime, or don't match your kitchen because sometimes people give you those things.
Yes.
And how about an apron that you probably never wear?
Yes, I got rid of all of those things recently because the mitts, they're never coming clean. Some of those oven mitts, once you get stuff on them, the pizza sauce, it's not coming off.
No.
I mean, so I do try to reuse them, but there were some old ones in there that had been there a long time. I think every few years you just need to, but here's the thing. You don't need 20.
No.
You just need a couple.
Yeah.
And then every couple years, just
dish
replace them.
And use it. My girls tease me that because they say I have asbestos hands because they're like, oh, this is so hot. Like, oh, I can't take this in the microwave. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, like I have it like on my forearm, like carrying it out. Like, what's wrong with this? It's not hot. So maybe they said that was my superpower. I'm like, yeah, right. I know what my superpower is. It's not.
Well,
that.
I know with Evie, if she has gloves on, she can touch anything. But without the gloves, I mean, it's like she can't touch anything.
I kind of get that with Evie. I love her, but I get that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ava's the same way. Life's better with gloves on.
They would have done so well 30 years ago when everyone was wearing gloves. 40 years ago when they were all wearing gloves. Yeah.
Office supplies that you don't need. Because when you buy something, it has 80 billion, those little punch tacks, or it has 8,000 paper clips. Maybe somebody else is setting up a home office that will be trolling the aisles of Goodwill and they would be so excited. I came upon this box, and it wasn't a small box, filled with Pendex hanging folders, kinds with the little hooks.
Oh, I know.
Like, you don't really need to replace those a lot. And how many do you really need?
So I think there is an overarching theme to what we're saying, is that just because it's still in good shape doesn't mean you should keep it. If it's not something you personally or your family are going to use, then move it on to someone else, because a lot of these things someone else would appreciate. And then it is saving the environment that someone's just going to use it, what you have that's already made, versus buying something new. But it's taking up space in your house, and then it's stressing you out because then you can't find the one thing that you are looking for because there's 5,000 paper clips in front of the thing you're looking for.
So true.
And I'm thinking about all this paperwork that we used to keep and need to file, that now a lot of it is just electronic. A lot of receipts and things I have are electronic. And so you don't need everything printed out. You don't need as much space for file folders.
You seem to file a lot of things.
Well, I don't know how you get away from filing things. Yes, we have massive folders and massive files.
Crinkling it up and throwing it out. Yeah.
Which may be why one of us does the accounting stuff and the other one doesn't.
I'm just creative. Yeah.
Yeah, but creative accounting, that's what people go to jail for that.
I'm not a creative accountant, just creative. And you're creative too, but you're not a creative accountant either. Okay. How about hardware and tools? A lot of people have those things. They're not handy. They have no need to be handy because they might call the guy, or maybe you are handy, but how many hands do you have to hold all the hammers you have? So you really only need one hammer. You don't need 5 hammers. And you don't need a selection of 8,000 screws. That's another thing. Like sort of these things come in these packs, kind of like these folders or the paper clips and screws and nails and washers and all that stuff. You really just can't buy the number you need. You have to buy a zillion. And then 5 years later, you still have them. And then it's taking up room.
Well, and the interesting thing is, I didn't know how many screwdrivers, how many hammers, how many tools we had until I went through and organized the house. That's when I realized just how many Phillips head screwdrivers we had and different sizes. And, I found 3 hammers. That's when I figured out how many we had. So once you start getting rid of the extra stuff that you don't need out of your closet, then you're going to have enough room to organize things by type. And when you do that, you're going to see that you have extra of things probably. You probably didn't know you already had a hammer, or you couldn't find it, so you bought another one. And so then when you have them organized by type, that's when you're going to see, I have too much of this thing, and you can start getting rid of the excess.
Yeah. And that pertains to all kinds of personal care items, from nail polish remover to toothpaste or things like that. People don't realize how many they have, or they go in different places. I was just at a new client on Sunday, and she wants me to do her office and redecorate it, but really it needs a deep, deep purge first. And so she has a bookcase.
Does she know that's going to be coming?
We had to talk about that.
Okay.
And so I said, like in this bookcase, and she's an attorney and she's got a lot of important files and stuff, but this bookcase had all kinds of stuff, like some like weird thing from St. Patrick's Day and, and this and that, and then like a bottle of nail polish remover. And I was like, well, yeah, stuff like this. Like, does this nail polish remover need to be here? Like, we could find another place for that. She's like, I just went to CVS to buy a nail polish remover because I couldn't find it. And I'm going to the Hollywood Bowl tonight, and I needed to take this cruddy nail polish off. And I can't believe it was sitting right on this bookcase and I didn't even see it. Case in point. Right. So all that stuff.
I feel her pain too. It was shocking how many of some things that we had in the house. But when I got rid of the extra, like old shampoos and old conditioners and things, I'm thinking, I really don't know how long that's been there. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it out and start from scratch.
See, I don't allow any of that.
It was so refreshing. What do you mean you don't allow any of it?
Well, I only give them one new one. I take the old one away. Like they can't have
for the kids.
Well, anybody in the house. They can't have more than one selection.
Oh, rations.
Well, yeah, because otherwise then everybody starts a new one.
Oh, well, yeah. There is that.
Peter's famous for starting a new one. Like, can you just finish that Greek yogurt? Why did you start a new one? Now we have a half of one and another one. It drives me crazy.
This is mothers all over the world are rejoicing.
We're rising up together.
We're rising up against this. Right. That's right.
Finish it and then start a new one. How about phone books? When was the last time you looked up anybody in a phone book?
I don't even, no.
I bet you, and you do not have to raise your hand, and you can stay anonymous, but I bet somebody's listening has phone books.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't. I got rid of them.
Not even the ones that came, I don't know who gave those to you anyway. Yellow books.
Well, they used to just show up at your house, but thank goodness they stopped delivering.
I know
them unsolicited.
Years, I was like, I do not want this. But also, even your own phone book. I had a cute little like address book for years, and Christmas time, you go through the whole thing. Well, just put everybody on your phone. Make a spreadsheet. If you're a spreadsheet person, you don't really need that book trailing you around. Old paint. That's a hard thing to get rid of. You have to dispose of it properly.
Yeah, because that one's scary. That one's
takes
tough.
up a ton of room. Mm-hmm. Right? Hats, scarves, just stuff. So many things.
Yeah, and it's nice to give it to somebody who could use the things, because I think all of us cringe at the thought, I paid good money for this and now I'm throwing it away. But so many of these things we can give to somebody else. I mean, very little of this is actual trash. So you might see
Right.
if somebody can use some of it. Or if it's all the glass jars, maybe you can find a
the
glass
jars.
recycler.
It was ridiculous. I mean, it was kind of like during the bespoke days when I'd be like, I did not meet a box I didn't love. I was like, oh, that box will be great. Look at that box. It's got nice firm tape already on the bottom and it's a good size and I could get some bubble wrap in there. And there was a period in my life where I was like, wow, that tomato sauce jar. Well, that could be spray painted gold or, that could be this. Or if I just get 12 of them, then my brownies can make something out of them. And then, blah, 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 blah. And it went on and on. I had just had bins of cleaned out jars. That's just a little crazy. And then it was like, do you keep the lid? Do you not keep the lid? So all that stuff, the point being, everyone, is that this impacts your home, the way you feel about your home, and practically the amount of storage that you have in your home for the stuff that you really do want. So if you've got all this stuff you really don't want, like the hot serving plate or whatever Anita had in the back of her closet, that means she can't get her, fill in the blank, yoga mat in there or her snow boots or what have you.
Well,
the
it was
stuff
the
that
kitchen
you really
cabinets,
use. You know what I'm saying? Or your defunct yogurt maker, whatever it is.
But then it's crowding everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't, if your closets don't have a lot in them and they're very organized, it's a very restful feeling when you walk in there. But if it's jam packed, you can't find anything, it's not a pleasant feeling. So when you get rid of all the extra stuff, there's space in between things and you can find things and it's going to make you so much happier.
So much happier. Yes. So that's what we wanted to do today. We wanted to make you so much happier. And we wanted to have fun with you by running around your house and pulling all this stuff out and putting it in bags and boxes and putting it in your trunk and driving away with it to some other place.
That's right. So you're going to have a couple of bags. One is the trash bag. One is the donate and one is maybe like give to a neighbor or something. So, just organize that stuff and then don't look back.
No, don't look back. And even if you had what Anita mentioned in the beginning, that kind of like, I really could have used that extra oven mitt today because it's okay.
It only had a year's worth of pizza sauce on it.
Exactly. So, but if you even do regret, something that went away, the overall benefit by doing this, it far outweighs the one item that you might miss. So go for it. Go ahead. Clean out your closet. Then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor. And I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing. and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off. Yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Do you have a crush for us today?
I really don't like using an umbrella because you get wet getting in and out of the car, and there's blowing rain when it's a bad storm. And so I like to use, do you use rain ponchos? Or okay, I can tell you don't.
No, I know. I was just thinking. No, I have used them, but only when I've been on hikes.
Okay, so because they're ugly, right?
Well, yeah, they're kind of ugly, yeah.
Some of them are. Okay, let me put it.
No, they are ugly. I mean, they're ugly.
Okay, so I found some cute ones that roll up really small that you can keep in your purse or your glove compartment. And I like to use these, in case of emergency. So I just like them because they're very easy to pack and small. But they're cute. If you have to put them on, they're not bad looking. And it's Jules is the brand, and they're called Pack a Poncho or Pack a Jacket. But the beauty of them, these are ponchos and jackets that fold up very small to put in your purse.
So it has a hood.
They have a hood, and then the ponchos you could put your purse or your grocery bag or whatever underneath it as well. And then I just find it covers me up a little bit better if I'm walking in the rain.
Well, that's
so
nice.
I will include a link to them because anyway, Jules is the brand that I like. They have some really cute ones. In fact, I've picked out another one I want. But I really like them, and they look so much better in person. This one picture isn't so good, but it looks really cute in person. And people ask me all the time where I got it. So I will share a link to that.
Oh, good to know.
And it's actually a brand that originated in the UK. And, they know a thing or two about the rain.
Yes, they do. Okay. Good one. That might be something I could get my hiking crew for Christmas, because sometimes you're out. Like the last thing we did was Mount Rainier. I mean, we did not go all the way out because I needed.
Well, and I bought mine in Asheville, but you can buy them online.
Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes you just don't know if it's going to rain.
Exactly.
And you're going to get this little thing in your backpack and you're good to go. Great for kids too in their backpacks. Because kids always forget their umbrellas, as do adults.
Yeah. And you should go check out the website too, because they have some really cute rain boots too and other things.
Ooh. Okay. My crush is an Etsy shop that is called Capricorn Press, and they make beautiful fine art prints. And it's run by a woman named Molly. I've met her a few times at an art fair that they have here in Pasadena. I've made purchases from her. She really does her homework and finds very original prints to remake a lot of maps, and she can make them at all different sizes, which is so great. So we're so often telling you about seeking out original types of artwork. Well, this is very reasonably priced, and you can get them in very large sizes or very small sizes.
So I'm looking at her site right now. There's it's very California centric as well.
Well, she's in LA. And so if you click on the side, she's got, ones for the various cities. So there's definitely ones from LA there, but she does constellations, star maps. She's got a lot of flowers. There's a really beautiful vintage sunflower print. She's got kitchen and food. So we'll link that in the show notes. Maybe you want to go check out Molly.
It was fun hanging out with you, Kelly. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.